What's happening, everybody? JayShockblast here, and we are here to check out all of the Iron Man armors in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. Now, unlike LEGO Marvel's Avengers, this game does not focus on Iron Man as much in the story. Iron Man had a ton of armor in Marvel's Avengers, and it makes a lot of sense that they didn't go back to the well this time around. He does have a few options, and there are some very similar characters, and we're going to show those off here. The two main Iron Man armors that you're going to notice are going to be very familiar. One, if you watch Spider-Man Homecoming, and the other, if you've followed the comics in recent months. So this is the main suit that Iron Man uses in the game. This is the Model 51 armor, and this was kind of inspired by Riri Williams, who became Ironheart. He had to kind of advance his armor after she kind of hacked into it, and I love this design. It's very futuristic, it's very sleek. I love the fact that his mask doesn't lift up. When you actually see him go through his animations, where in the past we've seen his armor like that right there, the mask is kind of lifted up, but now it like kind of phases up and down and it's kind of cool. So also his animations, they did not get that specific with his animations. They're all pretty standard, whereas in the last game there were a couple different animations that he went through to get his armor. You know, this one is somewhat reused from the last game, which, you know, it is what it is, I suppose, but it's still cool. So this is the Model 51, Mark 51, whichever you want to call it, Iron Man armor. From Spider-Man Homecoming, though, I love it. I left him here because I love how they're glitching in the background. This is the Mark 47 armor. This is from Spider-Man Homecoming, and here you can see it does flip up. And I don't know why they went with this. I don't know why they left all the silver on the chest and on the legs. It's not really, I don't know. I didn't love it. I'll just be honest. I didn't love it when I saw it in Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought it was a little lazy. I could have used for something different. I didn't really actually think the silver kind of fit very well, but you know, it is what it is. I guess they're trying to do something somewhat different, and you know, sometimes things work and sometimes they do not. But you know, Iron Man in general, actually I should have shown you, he goes through the exact same animation. He just all falls off, and then when he wants to go back and put it on, it's basically the same thing. Now this one would have made more sense if he were able to go into the front, but he actually doesn't put the Spider-Man armor, Homecoming armor, back on the 47. He goes right back to the Mark 51. So it is what it is. I mean, so Iron Man's going to do basically all the things you expect him to do. He's going to break silver objects. He's got his laser, so he'll also destroy gold objects. He can do all sorts of things like technology and stuff like that. So definitely a character you're going to use a lot, especially because the game recommends him anytime you need to break silver, like silver stuff. So when you actually walk up to something, you'll see his little player card kind of hanging out there. So, but that is not it. This is not the only Iron Mans we have in the game, even though they did go a little light on the Iron Man armor in this game. So let's actually check out some of the other ones. So here we have three other versions, I guess you could say, of Iron Man. One of which is very loosely a version of Iron Man. First, we have from the Out of Time character pack, we have the Iron Man 2020 armor. And this is one of the more futuristic looks for Iron Man throughout the ages. When I was younger, this one was really cool and one that really stood out. This is what we thought the characters were going to look like in the future. I mean, 2020 is only 3 years away, which is kind of crazy, and it's kind of funny to see how the armors have evolved. And this does not look very futuristic anymore. This actually looks pretty old-fashioned for Iron Man. One of the interesting things is when he does lift his lid, you see the little Fu Manchu Tony Stark looking a little bit older, which is fairly interesting. He does all the other things that the regular Iron Man does. although he does shoot his beam, unibeam, from his chest, which is kind of cool. So this is Iron Man 2020. He's part of the Out of Time character pack, which is part of the season pass. I have this because I pre-ordered the game from GameStop. It is not officially out yet. It is only out for people that pre-ordered from whatever, I mean, GameStop in the US, and I don't know if there's anywhere that did it in Europe. But it will be out soon, I would imagine, and I don't know this to be true, but I would imagine we will see it, sometime around the 14th of December, which is a month after release. So Iron Man 2020 is pretty cool. Next up, we have Tactical Force. Tactical Force is part of the Hydra 4. He is the Hydra Iron Man, essentially, and he is pretty awesome. I actually love the Hydra 4. I don't know why, and I just think it's just a really cool thing, and I actually did not know this storyline existed. It's from 2005, and other parts of the Hydra 4 include Militant, who is their Captain America, and it also includes Hammer, which is their Thor, which is actually another really cool character that I like. And then there's Bowman, who is their Hawkeye. So just really cool that they included this group, and to me, this is what the LEGO games are all about. Showing these type of characters that, even like a guy like me that has read tons of comics and I feel like I know a decent amount anyway, has never seen. So Tactical Force, when you want to get something a little bit different, you'll probably want to use him. Again, he basically does all the Iron Man stuff, so that's it. He does not lift his mask, so there is that. Next up, very, very loosely associated, we have Super Adaptoid. Now, Super Adaptoid is a robot that is basically a composite of all the different Avengers, or many different Avengers. As you can see, he has Iron Man armor. He's holding, or he has like a weird Mjolnir thing. He can grow, he can shrink. He's got Falcon's... I love that he shoots from Mjolnir. He has Falcon's wings. He also has Captain America's shield, sort of. You can't really see it there. He does fly, which is awesome. I love this character, actually. And then he also grows. And I think that's the coolest part. But he doesn't fly when he grows, which is weird. They only really let Fin Fang Foom do that for some reason. But this is another... not really an Iron Man character per se, but he is very much an Iron Man character at the same time. So I think this is a character that you guys are gonna love. You have to do like all the quests in Manhattan in order to unlock him. So this was actually one of the last characters I unlocked. He's a boss battle, so keep your eyes open for that. So since we're also kind of showing off loosely related characters, we have the Iron Skull and we have War Machine now. Iron Skull basically came to be, there was like a Iron Man suit that he kind of created. I think he actually even like took over, there was an episode of like Avengers Assemble or something like that, or Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that told this story where he either took over Steve Rogers' body or he took over Iron Man's, but he ended up having his own Iron Man suit developed, and I love this suit, man. I love that. It's really cool. I think it's a cool different take on Red Skull that they can incorporate in the game, because honestly, like, just regular Red Skull is not all that interesting anymore. So having this variation was pretty cool. And then of course we have War Machine, a little bit of a different War Machine armor, a little bit darker, and I do like this version. I don't know what he's shooting. He's shooting from his chest there? No, he's shooting from his fist. So he does do a lot of the same things that Iron Man does. Obviously he flies. One thing they did not do this time is his mask doesn't lift up. So, oh well, that is that. We do have another member that is kind of loosely associated with Iron Man, and that is Crimson Dynamo. one of his biggest rivals over the years. There's been many Crimson Dynamos. This is basically like the Soviet Iron Man. So he's got his own kind of suit of armor. And yeah, he does the Superman or superhero kind of jump that Deadpool laughed at in his movie. So he does not break silver though. Nothing happens when you press circle. So I think a lot of people are really this one. So we have Crimson Dynamo, and what we're gonna do now, I'm ending it. Probably should have started this a little earlier, but we are gonna fly over and we are going to check out one of the coolest versions of Iron Man you're ever gonna see. I love that they included this in. And again, we talk about the roster with the LEGO games and why they do certain things. You know, the Old West is not really, the characters aren't necessarily the characters I would have been looking for, but I have to say, being able to play as Old West Iron Man is super cool. So here's Old West Tony Stark, and he's got his little smock. He's like a blacksmith, and rocking the beard and ruffian look, and then
I don't know what people were expecting. Making a giant head critter the sheriff.
bringing out the suit, and you have Old West Iron Man. Now, I love this version of Iron Man. The only thing I don't love about him is the fact that he's not as complete as the other Iron Men. He doesn't do like the silver breaks, and he doesn't fly. And I understand it's the Old West, it's the 1800s. Flight wasn't really a thing, but I don't know. When I think of Iron Man, I think of flight, except maybe his first Mark I armor. But I do love the costume. Like, the costume is really cool, and it's a really cool way to do it. And I thought this was a cool way to round it out. And I do appreciate that he's tired and he's hot. He's not like cocky and arrogant as he kind of would be in some of his other suits. So definitely a really great costume and a great different kind of thing to include for Iron Man. And you know, he does drop his armor just the same as the other versions of Iron Man. So to bring it full circle, we'll go back, you know, to regular Iron Man. And there we have it. So that is all the Iron Men in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. You know, a decent little list. When Infinity War comes out, we saw the trailer today. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind we're going to get some form of the Hulkbuster or whatever Iron Man suit he's wearing in that movie. But no Hulkbuster as of now, so it has been one of the most popular costumes for Iron Man in these games. So, like I said, I do kind of think we're going to see it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you.